Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
So welcome to Brave, our classes for confidence, so Sephora beauty classes. We'll get started. We'll do a little introduction of ourselves and the team, and then we'll go into introducing yourselves. If any of you are beauty insiders, raise your hand. Sephora Beauty Insiders, love it. Okay, cool. So if you're not, we could sign you up if you want to today. It's just our beauty program where you can join free classes like this almost every day. We also do services at the studio, so makeup appointments where you can do a 15-minute service with an artist, or you could do a full 45-minute makeover. All right, and we'll start with our whole team here. I'm Alicia. I'll be your facilitator today. I'm the senior artist here, so you could always book an appointment with me separately or catch me in the classes. And I'm a VIB. That's my Beauty Insider tier. Right now I'm working my way up to Rouge, which is the top tier. Hopefully I'll get there before this year ends. And we'll go over here.
Okay, I'll go. Hi, I'm Josue. I'm the color lead here. I'm a BIB too. I kind of trying to get to Rouge too. Trying to shop a little bit more.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm one of the color artists here. I am a Rouge because I just bought a bunch of Christmas presents. So that's how
There you go.
I'm Maggie. I'm one of our color consultants, and I am a Rouge as well. Yep.
You're like, yep. And then we also have a special guest here, Shayna. So I wanted to introduce her and take the floor.
Sure. Hi, my name is Shayna. I work at Women Inc., a domestic violence organization. We're based in the Soma of San Francisco. They invited me here in case anyone needs support during this training, so thanks for having me.
Yeah.
If you needed any moment aside, I'll be in the back.
Yeah.
And also, if you're not ready to reach out, we have cards, or if you're wanting to volunteer, they're over here.
Thank you. All right, so we'll come out to the crowd.
Just introduce myself.
Yeah. Your first name?
I'm Trinette, but they call me Trini.
Trini?
Yes.
Love that.
Hi, I'm Sky.
Hi, Sky.
Hi, my name is Tichelle, and
Your
I'm
fan.
a volunteer with Break the Silence Against Domestic Violence. So I worked with you guys to help put this event together and brought these beautiful ladies, and I'm excited for the class.
Perfect. I love it. Snaps. I love it.
Hi, Austin.
Hi, Austin. So welcome. I'm really excited to jump into this class. Our topic today is going to be barely there. So we're going through a full face. It's going to be that like no makeup look. So really natural things that you can do pretty much with one tool and knock out in maybe your routine in the morning. You could take a little longer and add more things. So feel free, once we get into try on, you can customize with your coaches. So it doesn't need to be exactly what I do up here. We do have Sky, who's going to be our model, so give her snaps. So thank you.
Oh, wow, thank you.
Okay, so how this will work is we'll do a try-on. We'll do complexion first, meaning foundation, concealer, skincare included. We'll break off and we'll have you all try it on into the mirrors. And again, we'll customize, so it doesn't need to be exactly what we use. I am using some of our top sellers, so feel free to ask your coaches. And then we'll go back into class and we'll finish the rest of the face, so eyes, cheeks, and lips, and then we'll have you all try it on again. Sounds good? All right, so you all have a handout. I believe you've already filled out the first page. The second page is for you to take notes. Think of this as your best friend. This is yours to follow along to the steps. We also have a shopping list, so if you need to do a little asterisk next to something you may need, the coaches can help you find it. You have the whole store to yourselves, so really fun. And then if you lose your step, feel free to just raise your hand and say, what part are we on? This is a nice small setting, so feel comfortable to re-ask a question. No question is silly, so go ahead and let us know if you're not doing something already in your routine. We can teach you how, okay? We're here to basically show you how to learn all these new tips and tricks. So again, like I said, don't be afraid to say, hey, what was that? Or can you repeat that step, okay? All right, so let's get started. Do you have anything on?
I do. I have a little bit of BB cream.
Okay.
And mascara.
Okay, cool. Maggie, if you could just grab wipes.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Sorry.
So no, you're fine. You're fine. You have such good skin. That's why I asked.
thank you.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll start first with skincare. So who here uses skincare? Okay. Ooh, yes, I love it. Okay, so what are you currently using?
Bare Minerals.
Bare Minerals. Okay, love it. I forgot about their whole skincare line.
Yeah.
We don't have it at this location. And Shayna, what are you using?
I use Curology.
Oh yeah. They do hair too, right?
Do they?
I think so.
That's how I know him.
Yeah, that's how I know them. Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So with skincare, there are 3 things that you must do. So moisturize is a huge thing. Moisturize for the face, eyes, and lips, okay? So we will get into all of those. I'll have you remove half, or you can remove it all. Okay, so I have Maggie, who's my Vanna White. We'll go in with our first step, which is moisturize. So moisturizing for the face. Now we have Drunk Elephant here. This is our Proteini cream. Great for every skin type. So if you are more dry, oily, combination, or normal, this is great for you. Now if you stand out to one of those skin types specifically, we can again match you to your perfect moisturizer. This one has no SPF, so if you want a sunscreen included, we could always find you one. Now what I love about this one, it's a pump and it gives you exactly what you need. So you don't have to like dig into a pot or take too much. Okay, so with this, it's gonna help repair and rebuild the skin surface. Now I'm gonna take this into my fingers. So any moisturizer you wanna warm up because we have a lot of body heat. And I'm gonna go ahead and start in the cheek area where there's the more space. And then I'm gonna start to sweep it to chin, side of nose. Now if you love skincare and you wanna add a serum or an oil before, definitely do that step before the moisturizer. So I love to think of our skincare steps as you wanna do lightest to heaviest, okay? Now your moisturizer can just be standard hydration, or you could even target a specific concern. So if it's anti-aging or acneic, or your skin type is a little more oily or dry, then you could focus on those, okay? So now that we got the moisturized skin, we wanna do the under eye area. Now under eye area, that skin there is way thinner than the rest of the face. So you wanna treat that area with a different product. The Banana Bright from Ulla Henriksen's, one of our top selling ones. This is gonna help with the concerns of fine lines, wrinkles, discoloration, puffiness, basically what we all have. So this is like really a savior. And this one is a pot, so you will have to dip in with your finger. And I'll have you open that one for me. It's a brand new tester. We have little spatulas that you can use. Okay, so little goes a long way. And what I mean by a little, because I can overuse sometimes too, is like a rice grain amount. This is gonna take care of both eyes. Okay, so a whole jar should last you almost about a year. Now we wanna go in with our ring finger. Any guesses why? Ooh, I love it, yes. So it's the lightest pressure. We have one less ligament in our ring finger, so the pressure of tapping and sweeping will be much softer. So I'll have you look up. You want to tap right into that cup of the eye and just tap, 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 side to side. Why do you think I tap over pulling back and forth? Yes. So we want to push that product deep down inside. If we sweep back and forth over time, the product just sits on the surface and it's not really applying. Or you could be tugging the skin back and forth, and then over time you're creating the fine lines and wrinkles. Now when I'm doing the under eye, I kind of wrap it around and create like a C-like motion and bring it up to the brow bone. Avoid anything on the lid because gravity will pull that and bring it into the eye, and it might get like burning or stinging sensations, so avoid that. Even though all our eye creams are ophthalmologist tested, you just still want to be safe. Okay, perfect. So now that we have that, we're gonna go in with some moisturizer on the lip. So we got a lip balm, one of my personal favorites, Laneige. So this one here, it's actually a lip sleeping mask. So something you can use overnight. Has 8 hours of a moisture wrap, so throughout the night it's releasing moisture. You wake up, your lips are like plump and smooth, but I like to do it throughout the day or right before I put a lipstick on, so it acts as a primer too. Okay?
It smells really good.
Smells really good, yes. Okay. So taking a little bit with a lip wand, and we'll go ahead and apply. Now, no rules to applying lip balm. If you love to use your finger, or it already has an applicator, or if it's just a chapstick, that's perfect. Awesome. So how's your skin feeling? Lips feeling?
Fresh.
Fresh, I love that word, yes. Okay, so now that we have skincare taken care of, which is our most important step because it is setting up our makeup to look the best. That's the biggest point of difference too. But your skincare you can do with or without makeup. That's what's gonna help prolong or fight off any concerns in the skin right now, okay? Cool, so now that we have that, let's jump into foundation. So foundation, there are many different foundations in the store. So we will narrow everything down for you. We even have technologies in the store that can help find your exact match in certain brands, or will tell you all the brands that have a really good match. We will do that for you when we jump in, but for now we're gonna start off with a tinted or a CC cream. Now a tinted and a CC cream, does anyone know what those are?
I know tinted.
Yes,
So I don't know how to describe it.
it's okay.
But
So,
it's sort of adding like a layer
yeah.
on top.
Like a wash, right? So a tinted, think of a tinted moisturizer as it has your hydration, a sunscreen, and the color all in one. And we have a couple. We have Laura Mercier and NARS, which have been around for years, which are the like #1, yeah, top selling ones.
Good stuff.
Good stuff, yeah. And then we have CC creams. So CC creams, what makes them a little different from tinted, they have a little more coverage. They have a higher SPF, so difference in SPF is 40 and 50 in this, where tinted is 20, 25. And then your CC has a built-in primer. Does anyone know what a primer does?
It sets your face.
Yes, so it sets it, makes it look way, like have it on way longer. So CC will give you a little more boost of coverage and that hydration also. So today, tell me a little bit about your skin.
Oh, let's see. I get dry really easily, so I use shea butter as my moisture.
Ooh, yes.
That's all I have. I'm
Okay.
so sorry.
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
really know.
That gives me a lot. So based off her already having drier skin, we want to make sure whatever product we're putting on is going to look hydrated. So if I were to go grab a matte foundation, that's going to clash. It's going to make the skin almost like peel or look like it's drier. So knowing that, we'll go in with something a little more radiant. So radiant's gonna give that glow. If you have oily skin, then maybe you'd wanna go with something matte. I'm more oily skin type, so I really need to mattify, otherwise I'll look like a grease ball in like 2 seconds. So we will go in with the IT Cosmetics CC. It'll be the Radiance or Original, whichever.
If you want more glow, the Radiance, or this is more of like a natural look.
Yeah, this one looks fun.
Okay.
This looks
We're
fun.
going Radiance.
Yes. Glow is fun. Okay, so the IT CC, IT Cosmetics has blown up in Sephora. The founder had has rosacea, and she wanted something that gave coverage but didn't look cakey, but also was really calming for the skin. So this is great for anybody with sensitive skin or just everybody. And we have the original and the matte, which Maggie can hold up.
And then the matte.
Perfect. So this one again, we will match her skin tone. And Maggie or Daniel, can I have you grab her color? I think she'll probably be tan. Cool. So I'll have them grab her correct shade. And then we'll go ahead, and you have a couple tools right on the side of you. So you have your beauty blender, which is the little sponge-like pink ball. If yours is black, that is the same thing also. We also have blue, many different colors. Now we have our brush 59, which we'll be using for 2 different things a little later. But your beauty blender is pretty much gonna do everything today, okay? Does anyone already have a beauty blender or some type of sponge?
But I don't clean it.
Okay, we'll set you up with some cleaner because your cleaner will make it like last forever. Daniel can speak to that. I make fun of him all the time.
I have this one. I just don't want to throw out. I've had her for like 3 or 4 years. She's just been with me through everything. She's still hanging on, so you know.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna just do a little swatch and see which one best fits her. Okay. Let me see. Perfect. Okay, so medium tan. All right, so we'll go with medium tan. Since I'm used to it, I love to use the back of my hand. Again, we have a lot of body heat. If you're not used to that, we do have little sponge applicators that you could pump onto so you can pick up product, okay? So I take very little, especially since I'm only doing half of her face, since she'll do the rest. And I take the sponge. Now the sponge is shaped like an egg. We have the tip so that you can really get into the under eye area on the sides of the nose. So I really like to utilize the surface on the side. The bottom we'll get to later for other areas, okay? So I take a little bit of the product. I don't take all of it, because if I take all of it, then she's gonna have way too much product. So less is more. Remember that when applying pretty much everything. I start off in the cheek area because that's where we have the most concern, meaning redness. You may have some veins, any little breakouts, and so we tap, tap, tap. Now there are 2 applications that you could do with this. You can sweep. If you sweep, you're shearing out the product. If you tap and kind of press, you're adding more coverage, but you're also blending out. Okay. So tap, tap, tap. If you want more coverage after you do your first application, you can grab a little more product and then just go back in with that same application. And tap, tap, tap. Now say if I have all my product there and I'm like, I don't want to add more product, I flip it to the opposite side where it's empty, and then I can kind of press out that product so I'm not building more. I'm just blending. Perfect. She already has such beautiful skin. Okay. Glowing. It's a fun glow. Okay, so now we come to the forehead. You don't want to add a lot of coverage by the hairline because then that's when it looks like it's makeup. So doing that no makeup look, you start mainly in the center of the forehead and then work your way out. And you see how I'm pressing and rolling. Also, my pressure is really light, so there's no bobbing head. So tap, tap, tap. Okay. Say that again. Yes, thank you for bringing up the sponge. So you can speak to wetness or dryness of the sponge.
So I usually recommend using it a little bit damp. That way when you're putting product in the sponge doesn't suck it all up. It's also going to give you a little bit more of a sheer finish if you more dry. So using it damp will give you a little bit more coverage, but mostly it's just for the ease of use. That way you're also not like pounding a hard sponge on your face. So I like the experience of putting a wet sponge.
Yeah, so it's normally supposed to be used damp. Also, I notice if you use it damp, then the life of it will go longer. When it's dry, sometimes the product just absorbs too much, and so then it kind of dies a little faster. So making it damp also reflects back to the skin, where our skin is like bouncy. So the dampness of it will lay everything down really softly. If it's dry, sometimes it gets like cakey on the sponge, so just be aware of that. Okay. Yeah, lumpy. Yeah. And then you brought up cleanser too. So cleanser, there's a specific cleanser for this. We have one by Sephora. There's also the Beauty Blender where it looks like a little a bar of soap. And then there's also a liquid too that you can squeeze, and it's like dish soap in a way. Okay. All right, so our next step, our CC pretty much went everywhere except under the eye because of the texture there. So we do want to go in with another product. We'll go in with concealer. So concealers, we have some of our top selling ones by NARS. The NARS Natural Radiant. It gives like a beautiful coverage, but also hydrating, so it doesn't dry under the eye.
Also brightening for the eye.
Brightening, yes. So if you want to speak to shades of matching or going lighter.
Yeah, so sometimes people will use a slightly lighter shade under the eye just to give a little bit more brightness. Also, if you're into the highlight and contour, this can help kind of do that built-in highlight, so that way you're not adding extra product. Or a lot of people, if you like more of that natural look, you know, or just doing something quick and easy, you like to do spot treatment around the face, go with something that's closer to the shade of the foundation.
I'll just match her.
that you're using.
Perfect. So what we'll do for now, because we are doing the barely there, we want to match. If you want to brighten and give a little boost of color, we'll go down 1 to 2 shades. I'm taking the tiramisu color. All the NARS concealers are like dessert names, which makes me always hungry. So we'll go in with the tip of the sponge this time so that we can be really precise with our placement. Very little. I only put like a wand, a swipe, and I take a little bit, and I'll have you look all the way up. When you're doing this on yourself, of course you can't look up and do it by yourself, so looking into something, like turning the chin down and looking into a mirror is the best way. Because if you look straight ahead, you might not get into those fine areas. And I tap very lightly. Now, most concerned, if there is darkness, you would want to really focus in that little cup area or even on the outer corner. So just tap, tap, tap to add more product. And again, you can use brushes for complexion, for foundation and under eye area, but the sponge just kind of knocks it out and gives you kind of that effortless look that you're looking for when you're doing that no makeup look. Perfect. Yes, Austin.
So for like foundation or BB cream or anything, I am always the like first shade.
Okay,
So
like fair. Yes, Maggie's like same. Yeah.
So for making the under eye look a little bit brighter, how does that like work if you're using the brightest or the lightest shade with both?
So there are brands that have extended and almost have like porcelain colors.
Okay.
So looking at you, you could go with like a porcelain tone, which is like very fair, and then that could brighten up. Also, Kat Von D has one that's called a whiteout.
Okay.
And
So cover effect?
yeah, and cover effects, and those are like, they have like a lot of white in them. But I would say you wouldn't have to do that. So we'll partner you with Maggie or Daniel, and they'll get you the concealer that will do it. Great question.
Concealer is surprisingly really hard for fair skin tones because they're either like too yellow or just like literally your skin color.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want brightening, it's hard.
And then there are difference in skin tones. So meaning the undertone might be different. So you have gold, which is yellow, which Sky is. And then you also have a neutral, which is pretty much both like gold. And then there's cool. Cool is more pinky or red tones. Yeah, so there are many brands that have neutral foundations, but some brands are typically more on the gold or cool. All right, so now that we have complexion done, we have a good stopping point. That's where you have your eye to look in the mirror and say, oh, do I want more coverage or do I want less? And then you can go back in and add more just by building up. Okay, so we're gonna save setting the face with the setting powder a little later because we will be going in with another product on top of this. But for now, we have a good stopping point. So we'll try on skincare. We'll go in with a BB or a tinted. If you have a foundation that you love that's a little more fuller coverage, we can also grab that for you. And then concealer. Sounds good? Any questions before we go into try on? Good, good. Ready to jump in? Okay, cool. So we have Maggie and Danielle and myself that will hop in.
Because I used to have photos of like nighttime in the past and like already.
Yeah, people try on about 5 minutes their passage.
She's gonna be rich and buy them out.
It is? Oh.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the second half. How was that so far?
Great.
Really good, right?
Yes, exciting.
How did everyone like the beauty blender?
I love it.
Yeah, and it does everything basically for you.
It makes
So
sense, like how, I mean, looking at it, it's like, I don't have to ask which, like, side, but like, when I first started, I was like, so, do you only use this side, or use both sides?
you're like, what do I do with the whole thing?
And it makes
Yes.
a huge difference when they're wet.
Yeah, a huge
Oh,
difference.
I
Yeah,
used it dry once, and I did not like it.
the way that it looked. Yeah,
Even like putting it on, I feel like it looked harsh, and it was just hard to put on
yeah,
anything with it.
yeah.
You have
It,
to use more.
yeah, it's like almost dry, like it tugs, where you have momentum and bounce when it's a little more damp.
Yeah.
I love that.
You get the big chunks where it's not blended out.
Yeah, the big chunks where it'll start to skip all over. All right, so Sky, we'll invite you back up here. Everyone looks so good. Skin's so fresh. You all have beautiful skin. How was the skincare portion?
Great.
Good?
I love this lip. Dry.
Lip balm?
The lip balm.
A little dry. Well, we could fix that too.
My lips have been like peeling and cracking.
Peeling, yeah. You could also do like a lip scrub before you do a lip balm, and that does wonders. The scrub like gets all the dry skin, so that really helps, especially during fall, winter time. The skin starts to change, and with all the smoke that we're still remaining, that's affected the skin a lot. So skincare, definitely a big help. Okay, perfect. Welcome, hi. Okay, so we'll move on to the next step. Our next step is to jump over to eyes. So eyes, we are going to apply a liner. So who here has used a liner before? Awesome. Pencil, liquid, pencil. You gave up? You have to come join us for our winged liner class. That's a fun one. You're like, I gave up. So I'm going to show you some tips today with pencil of how to do a super easy look. We have a couple colors. You could do brown, black, navy. If you want to do a fun pop of color, feel free to do one. We have like purples, pinks. Today we'll demonstrate a brown. So Maggie, you could choose any brown. Yeah, that Lancome's good. Love it. Oh, there you go. Okay, cool. So we have Lancome. One of my favorite pencils, actually. This is like a liquid pencil, so meaning that it glides on just like a liquid, and it stays on just like a liquid. So after 30 seconds of applying, you have 30 seconds to smudge or fix something, and then it's on there for good. So this will probably be on me all day. So now we'll go in and we'll just clean the pencil. It's already nice and sharpened. If yours gets dull, you just want to use a sharpener so that you can create that nice fine line, which we'll be doing. Now, some tips and tricks when you're doing your liner on yourself. If you're looking into a mirror, tilting the head back will really help because it'll stretch the lid out and you can kind of get right in there. Try to avoid pulling because that's just going to stretch it. If it's something that you're already used to, you know, you can give it a little lift up on the lid, but try not to pull too rough, okay? That's how like the skipping of the pencil starts to happen. Now, when I'm applying it on her, I'm gonna have Sky just look straight down, taking the pencil, and I'm actually gonna use the side of the pencil and start on the outer corner and create a little dashing movement against the lash line, right above the lash line. And if you feel like you need to get closer, please come up. This area I know is a little smaller and trickier to see. And I'm just doing little dashes. So dashes right against the lash line. So dash right into the lash. That's an easy way to remember it. Now, if you like a strong black, like I said, you could go in with the black. If you're comfortable with a liquid, you could also do a liquid. Or you can join the liquid class and don't give up. You can do it. Now the brown is going to give you that no makeup look that we're going for. And this brown's actually really pretty. It's like a bronze brown, so it's not matte. If you go with like a matte brown, it'll stand out a little more. Okay, and I'm going to have you look straight down and to the right. Okay. Now, if you have issues with your liner stain, we do have waterproof liners. Those are really great. They'll give a longer wear. And you could do this right after you do your eyeshadow if you are an eyeshadow fan, okay? So if you look straight ahead, perfect. So it gives a little more definition, but very subtle, right? Now the other area I'd want to teach you is tight lining. Has anyone tried tight lining before? No? You're like, what is that? Yes, ask the question. Maggie or Daniel, if you want to answer that.
So it's
Now have you look
basically
up?
going kind of underneath, either like on the bottom or on the top, like where that skin is almost right against your eye. Just
So look
to
up for me.
fill in that lash line even more and make it look fuller.
I didn't
It
know.
feels a little funky, but it
Yeah.
looks really on.
So Sky, look up. So if you see, we have the waterline up above also. When you fill that in, it gives the look that your lash line is fuller without even doing a top liner if you didn't want to do a top liner. So looking down now, the way you want to do this is you would tilt your head back in the mirror and kind of pull back and get right in there. It tickles a little bit, so if it's something that feels a little off to you, no need to try it, but I encourage you to try it because it definitely gives more definition to your look. And I'm just wiggling, take your time. You don't want to do the whole thing all at once. Okay, perfect. And I'll get a little bit more liner on the top. I love this color because it is so natural that you could even like blend it up into the lid and it almost looks like shadow. All right. Perfect. So have you look straight ahead. And with her light brown eyes, this is really complementing because of that bronzy tone. So also think about eye color. So for example, blue eyes, right? Green, kind of green. Oh yeah, you got a mix of both. So like navies or purples, like plums would look really pretty on you. Brown eyes, typically any bronze or even like plummier tones. Yeah, rust tones also are really pretty. That's a popular color lately in eyeshadow palettes. So any like rust or berries will really be pretty. Okay, cool. So now that we have that, we want to go in with a mascara. Sky does have a mascara, but we'll go in to just kind of fluff it up. We have multiple options. We'll probably use the Milk one. This is so popular. So good. So Milk Cosmetics, one of our favorite brands here. This is their Kush mascara, so really hydrating, really repairing. This guy has a great applicator too. It's nice and fluffy, so you don't have any clumping. Also, it's stretching out and giving length and volume. Okay. So we put a little bit of an applicator right into it. Now, if it's yours, you could of course use the real brush. Okay. So if you look straight down, and we'll just go back in and kind of fluff up at that lash line. Most people hit mids to ends when they're doing their lashes, but then the lash will drop and lose its curl. So when you're doing your mascara, you want to kind of lift up on that lid and wiggle at that root side to side, like a little seesaw. And that's really going to help create that volume and give the curl an extra boost. If you curl your lashes before, like myself, my lashes kind of go straight down, so I have to use a curler before. We have curlers that we can use before you do mascara. Now, have you looked straight ahead? Are you a bottom lash?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. People either love or hate the bottom lash, so feel free. You're like, so some people will love it. So I'll look straight up and then
Straight up?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then go side to side. And I just kind of wiggle and touch the ends this time because you don't need to really expand the whole bottom. But if you want to give more of that volume look, then kind of wiggle at the root. Perfect. Okay, cool. So after mascara, we're going to jump to brow. Now, Sky has real nice full brows. Now, there are options that you can do. We have pencils. We have the pomade gels. So they're gel. You have them. Oh, no. It's okay. Then we have powders. Yeah, powders. And then we have the brow gels. So they all do different things. I'll have Maggie go over what each of them do.
So a gel will add color as well as a little bit more fullness to the brow. A lot of them will have fibers in them to give just a little bit more of that full fluffy effect. Powders you want to use with like an angled brush. These will give, again, a softer look, a little bit more of a fluffy look. You can use it to just mimic your hair strokes, which is really nice with these. Same with the pencil, and these are nice if you want just a little more precision with the brow. If you like it just a little more cut, a little bit more defined, especially like areas like the tail or in the front, you can really use it to sculpt and carve out the brow.
I love it. So based on the shape, but also maybe the hair density, your product will change up. So looking at Sky, she has a nice full brow, and it's already nicely shaped. So going in with a brow gel that has a little bit of fibers in it, so it's gonna fluff up the hairs and make it fuller. I'm going in with brown, so this is really gonna help just emphasize. Now, for example, you could do a clear brow gel if you don't want it to have color. If you wanted to create like highlights in your brow, you could go in with like a blonde. Now when I'm doing the brow gel, I comb going with the hair, the growth pattern. So pushing up, then going to the side, and then I back comb it. So just how you would if you were trying to build volume in your hair, you do the exact thing on the brow because you're gonna build the fullness. So fluffing back, it's gonna look a little cray, and then you're gonna go back and just comb them in the nice direction they go. All right. So if we take a look at the difference there, we have one that looks fuller, and it's also depositing pigment, but then it's also giving the hair a little more groomed. I love the model faces. There we go. Yes, yes. She's like, yeah. Okay, cool. Now again, if you wanted to add, for example, I have pencil and then I have a brow gel. So you could do 2 steps. Most brows take at least like 3 products, or 1 product could do the job depending on what you're looking for, okay? All right, so we're gonna leave the eyes alone and we're gonna go jump to cheek and lip. So who here is a cheek fan, like blush, bronzer, highlight? Yes, I see like a lot of. Okay, so we have a couple options. We are gonna be going in with a cream blush. So this is why I did not set the complexion with a powder, because if we were to set the face and then go back in with a cream, it would pick back up the makeup and you would get blotchiness. So we will save the powder till the very end. Now, if you're working with powders, then you could go ahead and set right now and then go back in with the powders on top. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Now we have a couple. We have Kaja Beauty, which is new to us. Korean brand, love it, has a heart. We have Stila, that's a nice pot that you can use for lip and cheek, which is a good multi-purpose. NARS, that's a pump liquid, and that's multi-purpose, so lips and eyes. And we have a couple powder options if you are more on the powder side. And then again, you could think of your skin type. So if you're a little more oily and you're like, the cream probably won't last, then do powder because it'll stay a little longer. If you're more on the dry side or normal combination, then the cream is perfect. Okay. Now when I'm thinking about cheeks and lip, I'm also looking at skin tone. I'm thinking about what colors I want to use. So we have a bunch of corals, pinks, berries, some that are more on the brown side that give like a bronzer effect. Now looking at her skin tone, she is already very warm and in the medium tone. So looking at blushes, I'll probably want to stick to something a little more coral pink that it's going to help bring out and complement all over. So looking at this, let's go in with Stila. This is a good one. And then lip color, what's really important is that your cheek and your lip complement each other. So say if you did a pink lip, you should also have pink cheeks. If you do coral lips, then your cheek should also be coral, okay? So this one is Peony. Love this guy, you can use your finger, but we have our beauty blender, which is gonna do everything. So on the back side of it, this is now what you're gonna use the beauty blender for. So this guy, we're gonna go right into this. We'll clean it off. Okay. Now the trick with the cheek area is if you smile, you can see your cheeks, right? And the apple of your cheek is typically where you want to apply. Now we have a 2-finger rule, meaning that from the corners of your mouth, that's where your application should start. If you go too far in, then it's gonna be closest to your nose and almost create redness. So you would do a 2-finger rule, and I'm gonna just wiggle my brush or my beauty blender right into the product. And now I'm gonna press where I know the best application on the apple of the cheek. So you see that? So it's a nice circle. And now I'm just gonna tap, 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 and I'm pressing, actually going backwards. So I'm dragging the blush almost to the temple, top of the ear area, okay? Now this is gonna lift up the cheek area, really complement that cheekbone. Now when you smile, I can see where that cheek hits, and I'm just blending. So almost that tapping or pressing and rolling that you were already doing with your foundation. Same exact thing. Okay, perfect. How are we looking? Good?
Yeah.
Perfect. So you can add more if you are a big blush fan. If you're not, you could even do a bronzer. A bronzer would be something that you bring around the perimeter of the face to give warmth within, or also to even like contour and give more shape. So if you like that, we can also grab that when we try on. You're like, yes, contour. So now that we have that blush, we'll jump into lips. So lip we want, again, to coordinate. So we'll grab some options. We have some lip glosses, some lip balms, tinteds. You could also do lipstick, lip stains. We have so many options.
Plumping lip gloss.
Plumping lip gloss, that's a good one.
Balm with an SPF in it because our lip skin is very thin, so it also needs to be good protection and colored.
Yeah, and as that's a fun fact, like, or not too fun, but as we age, our lips get darker. So that's one thing, if is having that protection there, then it won't get as dark. Okay, so let's do one of the sugars. Let's do Petal. That'll be pretty. Yeah. So Petal, right? Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Okay, so these ones are Twist Step. Don't leave them in the car, they will melt. So try not to do that.
Or even in your pocket sometimes.
Or even your pocket, yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fresh.
The line is the sugar lip line. Yeah, but the brand is called Fresh.
Okay. So if you love a lip liner, feel free to do a lip liner. It'll make the product last longer or give more definition to your lips. You always want to start in the center, and that's where we want the most coverage of color. And then I start to fan out to the corners. Okay. Again, this is more of that no makeup look, so definitely giving a softer look with a little tint. Perfect. And then I go back to the top and start right in the center. Okay. Do any of you have a favorite lip product? Chapstick, yes.
I like Too Faced.
Yeah.
Ooh, Too Faced.
Gosh, they got these little sparkles.
Yeah, those ones are really pretty.
I like the Fenty.
Ooh, the liquid. Yeah. Those are fun. So pretty. Okay, cool. So now that the look is final, we want to do the last step now, which would be to powder. Okay, so before we powder, Sky brought up a really good point later. She said, oh, I have a little bit of the concealer creasing there, which is normal, right? Because our skin is heating up now. It's grabbing product where we have any of those fine line areas. Grabbing the tip of the sponge again, so be careful if you have any cheek product there. You're just gonna go and press and roll, same motion, but you're pressing out any product that might be sitting in those areas, okay? Now when, say it.
Just kind of like iron it out.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so now there are two setting products. You could do setting spray or setting powder. We have a couple here.
Spray.
Again, so these are really awesome ones for all skin types. My personal favorites, I love this because it has a cap on it. And we all know once you open that, it like flies everywhere, pain in the butt. So this is definitely perfect. So Cover FX. Now, if you are dry, stick to a setting spray. If you tend to get more oily, powder will be the best. If you are kind of combination or normal, you can do either or, okay? So now this is where we include a brush where a beauty blender can't do. And the reason why is because it's a powder, so we want to stick to natural hairs. So anything that is cream or liquid or gel-like, you can use with a sponge. Also a synthetic brush where this is natural hair, okay? So what we're gonna do is just press right into the little applicator there, and then I like to tap off in the cup of the product. The other thing I like to do is just kind of tap it so that I see everything fall out, because if you don't, it'll leave like that residue. So I have all on the side of the brush, number 59. I love this because it's a multi-use. You can use blush, bronzer, highlight, foundation powder, setting powder. It's like my go-to. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is hit the areas first that are a little more on the oily side, which is the T-zone. So right in forehead through the nose, and I press and I roll. So same motion that you're doing with your beauty blender. Okay, so press, go to the forehead, closest to the hairline, down to the chin. Now, why do you think I'm pressing over sweeping? And look all the way up.
I mean, like, mess up.
Yeah, exactly. So the reason why we press is to make sure that we're pressing everything in place. If I start to sweep and drag it everywhere, let me get that for you, then it's gonna drag the makeup. You might see skipping or more redness. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. So now she is all set. So this is a final look. How's she looking? Good. Ooh, ooh. Okay, cool. So any questions before we get started into the second? Feeling pretty good? I know there are a lot of steps there. So take your...
Do you want to put like concealer in your top eye?
Yeah, so what you could do with the Beauty Blender is kind of tap it, the remaining of your concealer or your tinted, onto the eyelid if it's like any veins, any colors that you just want to like kind of wash out, that would be perfect, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
What if you wanted to put like eyeshadow under?
Under, oh yeah, like smudge a little bit, kind of like how...
Like a raccoon when I tried it.
Yes, so that you could use with a smudge brush and you can kind of wiggle it, but we could show you how to do it with eyeliner too.
Okay.
So Maggie or Daniel will show you how to partner that. Cool, cool.
Can you do setting powder and setting spray? Can you use both?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, great question. So you would want to do powder first and then the spray second. The spray will kind of bring that powder back to life so it doesn't look like it's dry. It'll give you that refreshed look you could do throughout the day too. Good questions. Love it. Okay, let's jump into the second portion. Excited to see.
It's nice fall like.
Mm-hmm.
It's really important to learn that, you know.
All right, ladies. So good job today. You did such a good job. You all look so pretty. I'm like, hand clap for you all. Thank you so much for having confidence and joining in with us in the classes. They mean so much to us. We love being a part of them. Like I said, always come back. Our doors are always open. We have, I think we took away the signage, but we have the classes like I was mentioning. We have them 2 times a week, so you can come in at any time. We have different topics every week, and those are complimentary. We also have our mini makeovers that are complimentary, and you can come in and get a 15-minute service. That's at any Sephora, so whichever one's closest. And then the custom makeover. That's a 45-minute service with a $50 minimum in purchase of product. Just book your appointment. You're like, I use that a lot, yes. Glammed up and everything. I love it. But yeah, feel free to pop in and always join. We love to see your faces. It means a lot to have you guys here again, like I mentioned. And we also have Sue, who has, are you mentioning anything? You're like, no.
She's just here. If you want to say
Thank
hi.
you so much, and we're just delighted to have you here. It means a lot to our staff to be able to give back in this way, and it's a topic that has touched us near and dear to our hearts. So it's a chance for us to kind of move forward and just kind of be positive about like what the future holds, and like we can survive. We are resilient. We are beautiful, and we can kind of take it back and feel good about ourselves. So I just want to thank and celebrate all of you for having the courage to be here and like be yourselves. You're beautiful. So thank you. It encourages us to do the same. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Sky, for being the model. I know I was nervous getting up here. Yeah, oh yeah. But thank you again. We have, I took the consent forms. There is the paper that you took your notes on, that is yours to keep. So feel free to take your notes with you. We have a survey on the bottom of that page. That's our personal store survey. So that's a reflection on me, Maggie, and Daniel, and Josue. So making sure that if you have the time, please take it. Let them know how you love the classes. And then the Classes for Confidence client survey. That one we'll have you fill out, and that I will turn in to Sue and Christina. So if you guys can take care of that one right now, that'll be perfect. It's a 2-sided survey.
I don't think, did we just write in the class we did? Because I don't see it there.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Let's
It's like
see.
barely there.
Yeah, so you could do.
Still pretty new, so. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, can't forget the gift.
Yes. So we're gonna do 2 raffles. We have your names already in a nice jar. We'll have Maggie choose one. Oh, that's a tiara. I need the raffle. And we'll have Daniel also choose one, but everyone's walking away with a goodie bag today. Austin, woo! So you get an extra goodie bag. So here you go. And then Daniel.
And Sky.
Sky. Ah!
Oh, thank you.
There we go.
Thank you.
Of course. And we'll pass out the goodie bags for you. So this is our appreciation for joining today's class. It has a bag filled with a bunch of different goodies. Perfect.
Did everyone get one?
I think so.
Okay.
You need an extra one. And you got one. Did you get an extra one? Oh, there you go. Perfect. Good. All right, and our store will be opening shortly, but you still have time to walk around. If you want a mini service right now, we will partner you with an artist, and you're like, yes. So we will get that taken care of. But feel free to shop around and always pop in and say hi and visit us. We'd love that. But good job, guys. You did such a good job. So thank you.